Hello, fellow preppers. 'Tis I, the Rumpled One. Before we start today, let me just take the time to say thank you to all the people that are watching the videos and my fellow preppers that take the time to reply. One guy replied, said, my camos aren't rumpled enough. That made me laugh. And then somebody else replied to what I said was your most important piece of prepping gear, which is you. And I said it was your physical body. And he kind of took exception. He says it's your mind. Well, see, I agree that the mind is important, okay? But if you don't have good health, good physical body, your mind isn't going to help you much. But the mind is important. In fact, it's really important, you know, if the stuff hits the fan, because if the stuff hits the fan, let's face it, it's going to be a traumatic experience. You know, doesn't matter how well you're prepared, you know, how much ammo you have and how much food you have and how much water. It's going to be traumatic. You might be, you know, dislodged from your home, or you might be, you know, you might have to stay at home and, you know, you look around and there's, you know, burning buildings and, you know, dead bodies. That is going to be a very traumatic experience. It's just that simple. And when they're traumatic experience, you're going to react. You're going to have physical reactions. You're going to have mental reactions. You're going to have emotional reactions. You know, people ask questions, what if, oh, well, if this happened, I'd do this. You don't know until the time comes. You know, you might break down and cry like a baby. Or you might buck up and, you know, be twice the man you thought you were. You know, and there's also behavioral reactions you might have. You know, stuff hits the fan, you'd say, oh no, I'd never do this. You might find yourself doing what you thought you'd never do. Or you might think, hey, you know, well, if this happens, I'm going to go out there and you know, take somebody else's food or take somebody else's property. But, you know, when the time comes, you might just chicken out. You just might not do it. So once again, the mind is important, very important. And not only, you know, a traumatic experience, you know, just think the stuff hits the fan. You're going to feel a level of fear and or stress. It's just a natural reaction. You can't get away from it. And once again, you don't know until it happens. You can practice, practice, practice. You know, it's kind of like shooting free throws. You know, you can practice, you know, at home, in your garage. You can go to the gym. But guess what? You got 2 free throws. Your team's down by 1 point. There's 50,000 screaming people in the stands waving things. You know, yeah, you could shoot 10 for 10 free throws, you know, at the gym or at your garage. But now, can you just hit 2? You know, all of a sudden, heart starts pumping. You know, you get the chills. You know, the other coach calls a timeout, you know, to freeze you. Kind of like what happened in the Ravens game. You know, guy had to kick an easy field goal. He choked, shanked it. You know, fear and stress. You know, psychological reactions to fear and stress. See, the mind is important, and you know, I agree. You know, there's a lot of books I read to train my mind to be better prepared, but the bottom line is when the stuff hits the fan, that's when you're going to find out. And the better prepared you are, the more you run these scenarios through, the more you make plans, hopefully the better off you'll react. Because if your body's strong and you're in good health, you know, you might be able to put that fear off because you won't be as afraid. You know, if you're running, you know, hey, these guys, I'm leaving these guys behind because I've been running, you know. I've got wind. So you just have to think about those things. So once again, I appreciate all the comments. Everybody that's subscribing, thank you very much. And the one thing to remember about prepping, if you fail to plan, then you're planning to fail.